Assalamu alaikum, good morning everyone. This is Ruhi. I am still here on the Poland-Belarus border at the Poland side. Firstly, I would like to profoundly apologize to all my friends and family and followers who have been messaging me, the other volunteers, humanitarian aid workers and NGOs who have been messaging me wanting to know how you can support. I purposefully wanted to give it a few days to have a more thorough understanding before I got back to you all with information on how we can help. I'm going to do these videos in around 1 minute, less than 1 minute bursts, just because it then means that you can go and share whichever parts you think is most important on your stories or to your friends or any other people who are wanting to know the situation. And also I have quite a bit to say, so I do apologize that these videos, there's going to be many coming through, and I might do more throughout the day as well. I'm absolutely horrified by the situation here. We are about a couple of kilometers away from the emergency zone, which is the border zone with Poland and Belarus, where thousands of people are stuck. I feel like I'm living in some sort of surreal scenario. It's almost like a movie. It's like a war zone. There are police checkpoints everywhere. There are military and army professionals everywhere. There's tanks going towards the borders. If we're driving around, we see tanks going towards the borders. As you probably know, it's a hybrid war between countries. We're in Europe and this is war basically, and unfortunately the people are political pawns in a deadly game of war between countries. We are a few kilometers away from the emergency zone, and the emergency zone is the border zone with Poland and Belarus, where there are military professionals, army and police. So Belarus have stopped people there and Poland are not letting people in. There's a stalemate. We don't know fully how many people are there because different reports will say different things, but from what I can understand from all the reports I've read and from what I've heard from the people is that there's around 3,000 people stuck there. It's extremely cold. Like, I can't imagine how people are staying outside right now. It was like around 1 degree, 0 degrees yesterday during the day when we were like driving around, and then at night it must have been well into the minuses. There are people stuck there from Syria, from Kurdistan, from Iraq, some people from Afghanistan, some people from African countries as well, although the majority of the people are from Syria, Kurdistan and Iraq. We are not allowed to go to the emergency zone. We cannot provide any humanitarian aid there, so there's thousands of people there without anything, and that really makes me sad because I hope the people think they've been forgotten. The people think the world doesn't care about them, and I just hope that they know that we just couldn't get to them, but we came and we're here, and we will try our best to try and raise awareness in the situation and campaign and lobby our politicians to put pressure on the authorities here to find a solution for the people, because people cannot go on like this. Over the last days, last weeks and months, people have died. We are in emergency chats with other activists and volunteers, and during the night you see, people are sick, people have hypothermia, people are dying, and it's almost like I can't sleep. I can't sleep. We have our phones on all the time just to be able to deal with any emergencies that come through. So you're probably wondering, how is it that we're helping or able to help? Actually, there's not a lot we can do right now. We can't go to the emergency zone. The other NGOs can't go to the emergency zone. The only people that are helping in the emergency zone are locals who are living there, and people are getting burnt out. It's been a couple of months now that the locals have been helping, and they are getting burnt out. Other than that, what we can help with is that there are people still making it through the emergency zone. They are putting themselves through barbed wire, through dangerous jungle trips in the cold, in the dark. We have people stuck with diabetes, stuck in the forest with diabetes without insulin or medication. Those are the things. If they're outside of the emergency zone, then the activists are able, the humanitarians and the activists and volunteers are able to take them food, water. We can't help with anything else. It's mainly like winter aid, sleeping bags, clothes, thermal socks, gloves, food, if we can get there. It's not easy. It's not an easy job at all. I will post a video after this one actually where we were patrolling some of the hotspots in the forest areas where people sometimes come through or get stuck at once they're out of the emergency zone. And honestly, it's scary. It's dark, it's scary, it's forest, it's dense, it's cold. I just don't know how people are surviving. So basically, we're in this emergency chat that it stays on all night because most of the calls for help come during the night. They come during the day as well, but also during the night we're getting a lot of calls from the Belarus side or people who've gone back to Minsk as well, and that's remotely people can help that, but not there. Nobody can go there to help either. Regarding sending aid, etc., right now we've been advised by the organizations and volunteers not to send any matters of aid. I know like people have contacted me asking whether they can send containers or trucks of aid. Right now I would hold off. Yeah, I would definitely hold off for now until we know more about this. We have no idea what's going to happen. Actually, we have no idea right now. We don't know if we have no idea or whether the migratory pathway will change. One thing to remember is that these people have come from countries of war and conflict and oppression. Some of them are political refugees as well. Their human rights are being violated. They're not even able to seek asylum. They're not able to ask for asylum, and when they do, they're not. We know of people who have arrived and without being given the chance to seek asylum, they've been pushed back into Belarus from Poland. We know of people who have arrived. A pregnant lady from Cameroon, she gave birth in the forest. She went into labor, gave birth in the forest. Local activists were helping, and she was taken to hospital eventually, and then she was pushed back. The next thing you know, she's in Belarus. I heard quite a disturbing account from another activist where this little girl of 3 years old, she came across a little puppy dog. Whoever she was staying with once she was back in Belarus because she was pushed back, gave her a puppy dog thinking it might be therapeutic, it might be helpful, and then all of a sudden she started snarling and shouting and quite distressed, saying in Polish actually, bite her, catch her, maul her. And this is something that she had heard over and over again in the emergency zone in the forest where dogs had been set on people. This is families with children vulnerable. It's absolutely horrendous. On Tuesday, the situation became extremely critical because Poland fired water guns on the people at the borders. I saw videos of people screaming. I just had to shut my ears because I couldn't watch it and listen to it, but I tried because we need to know what's happening. The only videos and reports we are getting are from the people that are actually stuck there. And firing water guns at people when it's already freezing cold, bodies die. Bodies, cells denature, bodies die, especially when they're hungry without food and water. And I've been out in the forest for a very long time. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what's going to happen. We are still here. We will still respond to any emergencies that the other humanitarian aid workers want us to help with. We have our car filled with supplies all the time for any emergencies. We were able to give some aid to one of the local activists here yesterday. Thermal socks, thermal gloves, food, water, bananas, cheese, bread, juice, that kind of thing. That is mainly what your funds are currently being used on. We are planning tomorrow to drive to Lithuania to try and assess the situation. Some of the activists here thought if the migratory pathway changes, because people can't go back. Some are going back because they're extremely sick, but they've come from countries of war where they can't live, their lives are at risk. They can't go back. So whether things change, we don't know. So we're going to go and do an assessment, try and get contacts together for the local volunteers to be able to support, get legal representatives as well. We've been asked to do that, so that's what we're going to be doing from tomorrow. I would like to request you all. It's already war here. People are dying. More people will die. Thousands of people will die if there isn't a solution. We can't leave people like this at the borders of Europe. I request to Poland and Belarus to stop, Lithuania, the borders, the countries, to stop this hybrid war, to think of the people. I request them. I would like you all, the only thing we can do right now is to raise awareness and campaign and lobby our politicians. I would like to request you all to please write a quick email. It doesn't have to be long, but write a quick email with the situation. I'm going to be doing a post later on my social media post. If you want to share anything, please do. If you want to use any of my words to write up a post or a letter to your MPs, then please do. The people need help. The people need They need a solution. They can't stay here. They will die. I would like you all to please today talk to your friends and family about the situation. Write something on social media or share my posts or videos if you want. Write to your MPs, write to your politicians, your representatives. Please do that, because people will die. We need a solution. And this is not that, like, Poland should just open the borders and let everybody in. Yes, they should do that, because people will die, and Belarus, it's not a safe country for them. There are already EU sanctions on Belarus, so how can that be a safe country for refugees and asylum seekers? But people need a solution, and Poland alone cannot handle this. Please, our politicians in Europe. I'm from the UK. My colleague Lorenzo here is from Italy. And for anybody else who is worried about the people, please write to your MPs. We need a solution. There will be dead people in the forests. There will be dead babies in the forests. Please do something, please. We need our countries in Europe to get together to support these people who are stuck here. We need some sort of relocation program. We need pressure to be put on the authorities in Belarus and in Poland and in Lithuania to stop violating human rights, to give people asylum, to keep them safe, to not torture them further with barbed wire and violence and pepper spray and water guns and everything else, and dogs and everything else that is being set upon these people. This has to stop. Pushback needs to stop. You can't take sick people from hospitals and push them back into countries in the forest and let them to die. Last night we supported another activist. There was an emergency call. It was in the area we're staying in. He'd already been out in the forests for days, weeks, pushed backwards and forwards, extremely sick. He was brought to the hospital, and we went to try and support the activist as well. This is just one case, but there's hundreds of cases. This is just one case, but there's hundreds of cases like this. Babies, children, families are being pushed backwards and forwards. They're human beings. They are human beings. They are not a tennis ball. I think this is where we have forgotten we are not behaving like civilized society. We say that we're civilized in Europe, but in modern day Europe, we are not civilized. This is not okay. Poland will need support to relocate these people or give them asylum, support with everything else as well. So please campaign and lobby if you can. We still do have an active fundraiser as well. We will try to help in any way that we can on the Poland side and in Lithuania as well. Thank you so much.